All right, okay. She just called Billy Fat Tits in a gynecomastia. All right, I recently got into an argument with my girlfriend over a vacation pitch I made. We've been dating for over a year and are both medical students. Look at you guys. Rolling in the dough, but do you have time to see anybody? You see each other? And they want to practice in Montana or Colorado when we finish school. I asked her if she wanted to go on a week-long vacation to Colorado this winter in order to see what it's like. She's been twice before and I've never been. She replies with, well, you don't like skiing as much as I do, and if we're not going to be skiing every day, then I don't think it's worth the money for me to go. She's also rich, so money is not an issue. I told her we can go skiing 3 out of 5 days. We're there, but there's plenty more to do besides that, like breweries, snowshoeing, snowmobiles, etc. Well, that sounds fun. You go to the brewery, right? Then you go snowshoeing, hammered. You fucking, work off the booze weight. Then you get on a snowmobile and you ride home. Anyways, he goes, silly me for thinking that being a compromising person was a good idea because she hit me with, that's not something I want to do, so I'm not going. So I replied, okay, sorry I even asked. She proceeded to say, no need to have an attitude. Buddy, I'm going to stop right here and remind you of how many women out there would love to be married to a doctor. This chick is the way granted, this is just your side of the story. This chick is a fucking nightmare. Anyway, and I would like to revoke her medical license because she's too fucking up her own ass and she's going to be taking care of people. Anyway, and all a medical degree is going to do to this person is make her even more arrogant. Anyway, and then when I tried to change the subject to something else, she got mad at me saying that I shouldn't be mad at her. Now she's been ignoring me for 2 days because I asked her to go on a Colorado vacation with me and do multiple activities instead of just, one thing, the fucking thing she wants to do. In the meantime, I've talked to my buddies, and the 5 of us are going to go instead. Whoa! Oh, hey, you know what? You got balls. I don't get too mad at that. You're like Christopher right now. Hey, Tommy, why don't you go fuck yourself? That's what you just said. That's exactly what you need to do with a fucking woman like that. Well, go fuck yourself. I'll go with my friends anyway. So she can just sit at home and be surprised when my Instagram posts are of me and the boys having cold ones in Boulder. Love the podcast and can't wait to see you in Atlanta in October. Is there anything better than self-esteem? And before I get trashed by the women out here, is if a guy did that to you, that's exactly what the fuck you should do. This is how you set up a healthy fucking relationship. Okay? You made a suggestion. She said she didn't want to do it because of this, and this. You offered a compromise. Not only did she not want to do it, she acted like a fucking child. So what did you do? Did you sit there and be hostage to her fucking own goddamn emotions? You said, no, fuck it. And you're going to go anyway. And you know what that's going to do? That's going to make her either grow the fuck up or break up with you, which is perfect. She's either going to become an adult and realize that she was in the fucking wrong and needs to not be such a fucking baby, or she's going to leave you and you can go find somebody, a woman that is an adult. Who doesn't want to go to Colorado? I want to go to Colorado and go to the fucking that hotel where they shot The Shining. I didn't realize it was only an hour and a half northwest of Denver. I want to go check that thing out. Stand outside of it and just yell, Wendy! All right, overrated. Hey, Bill Blurry Eyes. I'm writing to you from London, where there is even a more boring version of baseball, and that is cricket. I like cricket. I like those games. Everything has to be so fucking fast. Just sit around and fucking watch it. Have a good time. Shoot the shit with your friends. Anyway, to be fair, I moved here about a year ago from Eastern Europe, so I didn't grow up watching cricket and rugby, but basketball and football, handball, etc. Basically, everything that has the word ball in the name. My best experience with watching a baseball game was when I was in San Diego, a whale's vagina. I remember the team was playing against a team called the Cardinals. Love the naming you guys have. I guess you were just running out of any Native American related stuff. What are you talking about? We ran out of animals, is what we did. So now I don't know what that Seattle team is called, the Crackers. It's some sort of mythical fucking octopus. But basically, my friends and I he's making fun of the racist shit. I get it, all right. But basically, my friends, because you guys are so fucking progressive in Europe. If you guys, if you're not on the same currency, somebody thinks they're a superior race over there and tries to wipe everybody else out every fucking 20 years. But basically, my friends and I barely made it to the 6th inning, after which we went to a bar nearby where the locals were having a karaoke night and had no talent for singing at all, and even that was more interesting than the game. Too slow, too much repetitiveness, and too much fireworks. Judging by the celebration, people might think the USS Midway aircraft carrier they have just docked after a successful battle every time somebody hits a ball. Anyways, love the podcast. All right, so you don't like cricket? You don't like cricket or baseball? There's a lot of people like that right now. If the game isn't like, I mean, if you go to a WNBA, if you go to a fucking NBA game, every time there's a stoppage of play, they have tumblers and DJs and all kinds of shit fucking going on. I don't know. I hope they're not shooting off fireworks every time something happens in baseball now. I know they do shit with like the scoreboard and they try to crank it up and make it really fucking loud. We're in a really bad time right now for live sports. And I don't know. I don't know that it's going to come back. All right, a word for new segment. Dear Monsieur Fire Crotch, I am a longtime listener from England and love your show. Yada, yada, yada. Monsieur Fire Crotch, that's how we should have said. Over the years, I have heard you talk about how you were learning to speak French. On and off, I do. For the last few weeks, you've been talking about the strange feeling of regret about the things you wish you said at the time, but didn't think of it until it's too late. Well, I thought you would like to know that the French have a fantastic phrase for this. I remember it as it's maybe my favorite French phrase, as I spent most of my life suffering from the same annoying problem. L'esprit de l'escalier. The spirit of the stairs. The spirit of the staircase. Woo! Literally the meaning, the spirit of the staircase. I'll let Wikipedia explain. This name for the phenomenon comes from the French encyclopedist and philosopher Denis Diderot's description of such a situation in his Paradoxe sur le Comedian. Paradox of the Comedian. During a dinner at the home of statesman Jacques Necker, I remember a remark was made to Diderot, which left him speechless at the time, because he explains a sensitive man such as myself, overwhelmed by the argument leveled against him, becomes confused and doesn't come to himself again until at the bottom of the stairs. And he writes a bunch of shit here in French. I remember a lot of these words. Once I get past the instrument exam, I'm gonna pick this shit back up again. In this case, the bottom of the stairs refers to the architecture of the kind of hotel or mansion to which Diderot had been invited. In such houses, the reception rooms were on the Estage Noble, one floor above the ground floor. To have reached the bottom of the stairs means to have definitively left the gathering. Seems like this was pissing off the French long before us idiots figured it out. I hope this adds a new phrase to your vocabulary that you can mutter to yourself. Or maybe they were fucking such cunts to each other, they came up with this phrase. That you can mutter it to yourself to starve off the internal rage. P.S. Check out Dean Martin's version of Gentle on My Mind, as it puts a strangely positive spin on the lyrics, like Dean was happy to not see her again. Oh, okay. Oh, the Glenn Campbell song. Yeah, well, Dean was the coolest fucker ever. All right, let's wrap this up here. Things I should have said. Hey, Billy Mozzarella Legs. Been listening to the podcast for a long time and a big fan. I have my own I should have said this story from when I was 18 working at a golf course. Look at this. And how old is he now? He's still thinking about it. I worked at a fairly high-end golf course in Vancouver. He even wrote it out for me. I was one of the bag boys who greeted you when you showed up and got your clubs set up on your cart. I did that job. Part of the job was for us to take note of the tee sheet so when players arrived and gave their tee time, we could recall the name without referring back to the tee sheet. Made us look good. Well, one day, a guy was walking up from the parking lot, and I walk over to greet him and get his bag. I say, hey, how are you? What time are you teeing off? He replies, 10:40. I say, perfect. It's booked under Mr. Smith. He goes, I can't remember the last name. The tee sheet gave the first name and the last name of the person who booked. He quickly replies, that's actually Dr. Smith, and then proceeded to lecture me how he spent 10 years in medical schools. He hadn't spent 10 years in medical school to be called Mr. This guy needs to marry that fucking Colorado chick. Now, having some family members who have gone through medical school, I know they only spent 8 years in school. I wish I could have said, isn't medical school only 8 years, and just left it at that? Oh, that would have been great. I still think about that encounter and many other things I wish I could tell him now. As always, go fuck yourself. Yeah, isn't it always 8 years? And did you go to medical school so you could exaggerate it to somebody half your fucking age that's put in your bag of clubs? All right?